In today's video, we're going to be taking a Pioneer deck and trying to break it in Modern. The deck that we're going to be taking is Green-White Angels. And when bringing it over to Modern, we get 3 big upgrades. The first is Aether Vial, which helps us play out our hand much more efficiently. In the same vein, we also have Noble Hierarch that can ramp us into a 3-drop on turn 2. The last biggest upgrade is Unsettled Mariner. This is a shapeshifter that is also a changeling, meaning that it is every creature type. And Unsettled Mariner counters everything that targets us or a creature unless the opponent pays 1. But when looking at the rest of the list, it is very similar to the Pioneer version. We're playing cards like Collected Company, Righteous Valkyrie, and Resplendent Angel. Our mana base does get a little bit better, and we also get Cavernous Souls to fight against counter spells. And we have an old angel called Saravenger, which is one of the weirdest cards I've ever seen. And it's specifically because it says you cannot cast this on the first, second, or third turn of the game. So in today's video, we're going to be taking this Angels list and seeing if it can stand in the Modern format. Match when we're on the draw, and hand looks great. Opponent goes Island into a Hedron Crab. We draw Plains, we'll go Thicket into an Aether Vial. Opponent plays a fetch, milling us for 3. Then fetches out a Watery Grave, milling us for another 3. We top deck another Vial, we'll play out Sanctuary into a Plains and an Aether Vial. Opponent plays another fetch land, milling us for 3. Find an Island, milling us for another 3. Then cast out a Tasha's Hideous Laughter, exiling 12 cards. Took up our Vials and draw a Cavern. Play out on Human, Vial in our Giada, and then play out an Unsettled Mariner. Opponent plays another Crab into a Swamp, trying to mill us, but Mariner also triggers, so they have to pay 1 for each of these. And they pay for both, milling 6. Draw Thicket, we'll play out Canopy, and then cast our Collected Company. And we'll put in another Giada and a Youthful Valkyrie, and we'll keep our 2/2 Giada. Then attack in for 5. Opponent plays another Crab. We top deck a Township for turn. We'll play it out and attack in with the team. Opponent blocks our Mariner, so we'll activate Township. And in response, they drown lock our Mariner. So we draw a card off Sanctuary, find another Youthful Valkyrie, and they pay the 1 to resolve drown, so in response, we'll put in our Valkyrie. And then opponent goes down to 2. Oh, but they have a fetch land, which mills us for 18, and opponent has us, so let's get on to sideboarding. We're going to take out 2 Sanctuaries, Giada and Sigarda, for 4 Skyclaves, 2 Gaddock Teagues, and Archon of Emerauds. Game 2, our starter looks quite powerful. We'll go turn 1 Cavern on Angel into an Aether Vial. Opponent fetch shocks and plays out a Crab. We draw an Archon, we'll play Canopy, cast out our Giada. Opponent plays a fetch, milling us for 3. Then fetches an Island, milling us for another 3. Casting Drown Lock, killing our Giada. So on their end step, we'll Vial in our Hierarch. And we draw another Giada for turn, so we will Vial it in. Then cast out a Youthful Valkyrie. Opponent plays Shelldocked Isle, milling us for 3. Then cast Drown, killing our Giada. We find a Plains, we'll play that. Crack our Canopy, which finds an Unsettled Mariner, we'll play that out. Then attack in for 4. And we might as well as put in our Archon now. Opponent casts a Fractured Sanity, milling us for 14. Then plays a Tapped Field Ruin because of Archon, and it doesn't mill us because of Unsettled Mariner. Draw another Cavern, we'll cast out our Youthful Valkyrie. Then attack in with the team. And opponent's at 4. Opponent plays out an Ensnaring Bridge. We draw Sarah Angel for turn, we'll cast that out. And then opponent scoops him up. Let's get on to game 3. Game 3, our 7 looks great. Opponent goes turn 1 Island into a Crab. We found a Giada, we'll play Canopy into an Aether Vial. Opponent plays a Misty, milling 3. Then fetch shocks, milling another 3. We draw a Hierarch, we'll play Forest, and then cast out a Giada. An opponent fatal pushes it. Opponent plays out a Field of Ruin and uses it right away, killing our Horizon Canopy. And we'll grab a Plains, losing another 3 cards to the Crab. And on their end step, we'll Vial in our Hierarch. And we find another Mariner, so we'll cast that out and Vial in another Mariner. Opponent plays in a Burrow into an EE on 2, killing both of our Unsettled Mariners. We'll tick up Vial, finding Gaddock Teague. We'll Vial in our Skyclave, killing the Crab, and then cast out a Gaddock Teague, attacking in for 1. Opponent channels out an Ottawara, bouncing our Vial. We draw a Hierarch, we'll cast out Giada into a Hierarch, and then attack in for 4. Opponent plays a Field. We top deck a Courtyard, we'll attack in for 6, and then we'll play out an Aether Vial. Opponent plays out a Crab, then plays out a Dark Slick Shores, milling us for 3. We top deck another Giada, we'll attack in with the team. Opponent blocks, going down to 2, and then we'll cast out our other Giada, keeping our 3/3. Opponent bounces a Burrow to their hand, playing it, milling us for another 3, and then scoops him up. Let's get on to match number 2. Match 2, we're on the play, and we have a fine 7. We'll go turn 1 Canopy. Opponent goes turn 1 Mountain, suspending a Rift Bolt. We top deck a Resplendent Angel, we'll play out our Giada. On their upkeep, they bolt us down to 16. Opponent plays the Foothills, and we draw a Cavern. We'll attack in for 2, then play Cavern on Angel, and cast out our Righteous Valkyrie. And on our end step, they Boros Charm us. Opponent plays a Canopy, passing. We draw a Courtyard, naming Angel, and we'll attack in for 5. And all shucks, we don't have any plays. We'll pass back. And they bolt us, taking us down to 9. And then go for a Skullcrack, so in response, we'll cast a Coco, putting in a Valkyrie and a Resplendent Angel, oh my. And we'll gain a few life. Oh man, let's get on to sideboarding. We're gonna take out Sigarda, Errant Giada, Realm Walker for 2 Archons and a Shaper Sanctuary. Game 2, our 7's a little risky, but we'll keep. Opponent goes turn 1 Vantage passing. We'll go Razorwood Thicket into a Sanctuary. And in response, they bolt us. Opponent goes Mountain into a Vortex. We draw an Avenger. We'll go Thicket into a Valkyrie. Opponent goes Mountain into a Lava Spike. We draw a Vial. We'll play that into another Sanctuary. And in response, they Boros Charm us. Then we'll attack in for 1. Opponent plays a Canyon into a Skullcrack. Then skewers us, taking us down to 2. Vortex puts us down to 1 in our upkeep. We'll play a Thicket into a Righteous Valkyrie. And they activate Vortex in response. Then we'll attack in for 2. Opponent plays an Islet, cracking it. And in our upkeep, Rolling Vortex kills us. For game 3, we're going to take out a Sanctuary for a Chalice. Game 3, our hand looks great. We'll go turn 1 Thicket. Opponent goes turn 1 Mountain into a Lava Spike. We draw a Canopy. We'll play Cavern on Angel, then cast out a Mariner. Opponent plays out a Swift Spear and attacks in for 1. And we will not block. And we find a Valkyrie for turn. We'll cast that out. Then we'll attack in for 2. Opponent plays a Mountain, attacks in for 1. We'll take it. And opponent Searing Blazes, and because it's 2 separate targets, it gets countered by Mariner. That's so funny. And we draw a Thicket. We'll cast out our Resplendent Angel. And opponent scoops him up. Let's get on to match number 3. Match 3, we're on the draw, and hand's fine. Opponent goes turn 1 Delta. We draw another Vial. We'll go Cavern on Angel, then cast out a Vial. And opponent misses a land drop. We draw a Giada. We'll cast out another Vial. And no land again. We draw a Realm Walker. We'll just hold up our Vial. And on our opponent's end step, we'll put it in Giada. They miss a land drop again. Discarding an Archon off of the discard. And in our upkeep, they push our Giada. We draw Plains. We'll play out our Youthful Valkyrie. Then Vial and an Unsettled Mariner. And Vial and a Righteous Valkyrie. Opponent casts a Persist, but Mariner stops the trigger. We draw a Hierarch for turn. We'll activate Vial, putting in a Valkyrie. And opponent scoops him up. Let's get on to sideboarding. We're going to take out 2 Sarah Avengers, Sigarda, and Errant Giada for 2 Saper Sanctuaries and 2 Archons. Game 2, our 7 looks great. Opponent goes turn 1 Darklick Shores. We draw Resplendent Angel, going Cavern on Angel, then playing out a Vial. And on our end step, they Thought Scour themselves. Opponent goes Swamp into Aven Heartstabber. Never seen this card before in my life. We top deck a Valkyrie. We'll play Thicket into an Unsettled Mariner. Opponent casts a Consider, milling over a Watery Grave. Then casts a Fatal Push on our Mariner, paying the 1. And they attack us down to 19. And we top deck a Sanctuary. We'll play out our Youthful Valkyrie, then Vial in our Mariner, pumping the Valkyrie. Opponent plays a Mire and Thought Scours themselves. Then casting a Titan Indulgence, discarding a Cruelty. And we draw a Forest. Good draw. We'll play out our Righteous Valkyrie, then attack in for 6. An opponent blocks our Valkyrie. An opponent casts Persist on an Archon. Unsettled Mariner triggers, and they pay the 1 for it. So we're just too far behind here. We'll get on to game 3. Game 3, our hand looks perfectly fine. We'll go turn 1 Cavern on Angel. Opponent goes turn 1 Fetch Shock into a Thoughtseize, taking our Giada. And we top deck another Giada. We'll play that out. Opponent Fetch Shocks and plays an Unmarked Grave, putting Archon in the yard. And we top deck a Mariner. We'll attack in for 2, then play our Township, casting out Youthful Valkyrie into an Unsettled Mariner. An opponent casts a Persist, getting back an Archon. We'll sacrifice our Youthful Valkyrie and discard our Resplendent Angel. And we draw a Saper Sanctuary. We'll play out our Valkyrie. Opponent untaps, casting a Push on our Mariner, and we're too far behind. We'll scoop them up. Let's get on to match number 4. Match number 4, our starter looks amazing. We'll go turn 1 Thicket. Opponent goes turn 1 Strand. We top deck a Realm Walker. We'll play Cavern and cast out our Giada. Opponent plays Mystic Gate. We top deck a Courtyard. We'll attack in for 2. They take the 2. We'll cast out a Valkyrie. Then play a Thicket into a Mariner. Opponent plays an Island, and we top deck a Vial. We'll attack in with the team. Opponent's down to 8. We'll play out Vial into a Courtyard, and we won't play any creatures, playing around a Verdict. And on our end step, they cast a Charm, drawing 2. And opponent plays an Island into a Verdict. We draw a Courtyard for turn. We'll cast out our Realm Walker, naming Angel, and we'll cast our Giada off the top. Opponent plays a Vista. We draw a Cavern. We'll cast our Mariner off the top. Then we'll cast this Resplendent Angel off the top. Then we'll play Cavern and pass back. And on our end step, they cycle a Shark Typhoon, getting a 3/3, which is exactly why we didn't attack. Opponent attacks in for 3. We'll block with our Angel, and then they cast another Verdict. And on the end step, we'll Vial in our Valkyrie. We draw a Township. We'll play it and activate it, and then attack in for 2. Opponent plays out Teferi, bouncing our Valkyrie. We leave Vial on 3. We'll play out our Valkyrie and play our Courtyard on Angel. And on our end step, they cast a Charm, drawing 2. Opponent plays a Strand, ticks up Teferi, and on the end step, we activate Township. And they cast a Prismatic Ending, killing our Valkyrie. And we draw another Valkyrie. We'll cast that out. And on our end step, they take out our Youthful Valkyrie. We draw a land and we'll scoop them up. We're just too far behind. Let's get on to sideboarding. We're going to take out Righteous Valkyrie for Hierarchs and 2 Sarah Avengers for Sanctuaries, Archons, Gaddock Teagues, and Errant Giada. Game 2, we'll keep our 7. We'll go turn 1 Canopy into a Sanctuary. Opponent goes turn 1 Tower. We top deck a Vial. We'll play Courtyard and cast out the Vial. Opponent plays out a Strand. We find an Unsettled Mariner. We'll play out our Cavern and cast out our Realm Walker. And in response, they Leyline Binding our Shaper Sanctuary. Opponent invokes out a Solitude, killing our Realm Walker, and misses a land drop. We'll lead on activating Vial, and in response, they cast a Hallowed Moonlight, so we won't put anything in. We'll cast out a Mariner, then play Cavern on a Kithkin, and play our Gaddock Teague. Again, no land drop for the opponent. When we top deck a Giada, we'll crack our Canopy, finding another one. Then we'll cast out Giada, and attack attack in for 4. An opponent invokes out of Solitude, killing our Unsettled Mariner. And again, no land drop. We top deck a Realm Walker, we'll vial that in. And opponent scoops him up. Let's get on to game 3. For game 3, we're going to bring in 3 Mass Vandals for Archons and a Righteous Valkyrie. Game 3, we're going to keep a risky hand. Opponent goes turn 1 Triumph, we'll go Thicket into a Saint-Pierce Sanctuary. Opponent plays an island, we top deck a Thicket, and we'll cast out our Youthful Valkyrie. Opponent plays an island, we top deck a Sanctuary, we'll play out another one, then play our Township, attacking in for 1. And on our end step, they cast a Dress Down. Opponent shocks in a Steam Fence, and we top deck a Teague. We'll play Canopy and attack in for 1. And dang, it sucks. We really have nothing to cast again. And on our end step, they cast a Deluge. And after that resolves, we'll cast our Coco. Put in Realm Walker and Resplendent Angel. Opponent plays a Mesa. We top deck Giada, and we'll attack in for 6. And they cycle a Shark Typhoon for 3, trading off with our Angel. And post-combat, we'll cast out a Vandal, pumping our Valkyrie, and then cast out a Gaddock Teague. We draw a Valkyrie, we'll go to combat, attack in with our Valkyrie, then play out a Giada. And on our end step, they cast a Solitude, killing our Gaddock Teague, but we draw 2 off of Sanctuaries. Opponent attacks in for 3, we will not block, and then they cast a Verdict. We draw an Angel, we'll play out Canopy, play out a Giada, into a Righteous Valkyrie. Opponent casts an Ending, killing a Saint-Pierce Sanctuary, then Ending's the other one. We draw Teague, we'll lead on a Resplendent Angel, and we'll go to combat. Before we do, they Leyline Binding our Resplendent Angel, then we'll attack in for 5, and then cast out a Gaddock Teague. Opponent plays an island, we draw a Valkyrie, we'll lead on attacking with everything, and they cast a Hallowed Moonlight in response, then cast an Archmage Charm, drawing 2, then cast a Dress Down, and we take it down. Let's get into match number 5. Match 5, our 7 looks great. Opponent goes turn 1 Fetch Shock into a Soulscar Mage. We top deck a Valkyrie, we'll go Cavern into an Aether Vial. Opponent shocks in a Sacred Foundry into a Sprite Dragon. We draw a Coco, we'll play out a Vial. Opponent plays Mountain into a DRC, and before damage, they cast Mutagenic Growth, growing their Soulscar Mage and Sprite Dragon. And we're down to 12. And again, no land for us, so we'll pass it back. Opponent casts out another DRC, then attacks in with the team, we'll activate Vial, put in an Unsettled Mariner, and we'll go for a risky block on the DRC, and they cast a Lava Dart on our Mariner, paying 1 for it not to get countered, and then we trade. We're at 7, hopefully we can stabilize, and we draw Sigarda, so we'll Vial in a Righteous Valkyrie, and then put in a Sarah Avenger, gaining 3, going up to 10. Opponent plays a Tap Boundary and buys Gigantha, and opponent attacks in for 4, we'll take it. It looks like we'll stabilize at 6. We'll take up both Vials, draw in a Cavern, play it out on Angel, then we'll Vial in our Righteous Valkyrie, then Vial in our Sigarda, then cast out a Youthful Valkyrie, and we're at a casual 24, and then we'll attack in for 5. Opponent plays a Mountain into a Gigantha. We draw a Hierarch, seeing a Cavern on top, we'll attack in with the team. An opponent casts a Lava Dart, targeting a Sigarda, and in response, we'll Vial in a Realm Walker, gaining more life and making our team huge. Opponent scoops them up, let's get on to sideboarding. We're going to take out 4 Hierarchs, a Youthful Valkyrie, a Realm Walker, Sigarda, and Giada for 2 Saper Sanctuaries, 4 Skyclaves, and 2 Archons. Game 2, our hand's 2 weak, so we got them all. And our 6 is fine, we'll put back our Horizon Canopy. Opponent plays a Bobble, looking at their top, and they shuffle it away. We draw a Skyclave, we'll go Thicket into an Aether Vial. Opponent shocks in a Sacred Foundry, and Pendings our Vial. We draw a Sarah Adventure, we'll play Canopy into a Valk. And on our end step, they bolt it. Opponent plays a Tarn into a DRC. We draw an Angel, we'll cast out our Valk. Opponent casts out another DRC into a Prismatic Ending on the Valk. They attack in for 3 and play out a Canal. We draw a Sanctuary, we'll cast out an Avenger. Opponent attacks in, we will try and trade. And that happens. Then they cast out a Sprite Dragon, shocking Steam Fence, buying Gigantha. We draw a Cavern, we'll play out a Saper Sanctuary into a Sarah Adventure. Opponent plays Gigantha and attacks in for 3. We will not block. We draw a Vial, we'll play out our Skyclave, taking down their DRC, and then we'll attack in for 3. Opponent plays out a Swiftspear into a Heat, and we're too far behind, so let's get into game 3. Game 3, we have a pretty sweet hand. We'll go turn 1 Thicket into a Vial. Opponent goes turn 1 Foundry into a Soulscar. We draw a Courtyard, we'll play that out, passing. Opponent plays out a Canal into a DRC, then cast a Pending on our Vial, and attacks us for 2. We draw a Valkyrie, we'll play that out, and play out our territory. Opponent plays a Mountain into a Sprite Dragon, bolting down our Valkyrie, and they attack us for 5. We draw an Avenger, we'll play Township, and then cast a Coco, grabbing 2 Valkyries, going back up to 21. Opponent casts a Path on one of our Valks, then attacks in for 6, we'll take it. And we top deck a Resplendent Angel, holy. We'll cast out a Sarah Adventure, then attack in for 2, and then we'll cast out a Resplendent Angel. And before we gain our 3 life, they bolt down our Resplendent Angel. And we sadly don't gain any life because Soulscar Mage puts -1/-1 counters on it. Opponent plays out an Underworld Breach, milling over a Bauble. Oh my god, that's so good. And they path our Righteous Valkyrie, and they cast a Bauble from the yard. They crack it, looking at our top, and we'll trade off with a DRC. And they cast another Bauble, and we draw a Thicket. They Bauble us. We'll crack our Canopy, draw in another Canopy. So we'll play that out and crack it. Another Canopy. So we'll play out an Avenger. Opponent casts out an EI, finding a path, and that's just gonna kill us. Crazy game. So we ended up 3-2, and honestly, all the games that we lost were very close. We'll open up the chest, finding a Solitude game. That's a good way to end the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please consider leaving a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.